Hi, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to No Contact. If you like what you hear, we have bonus content on Patreon for more stories. Some stuff that we legally can't say because of NDAs or just general sort of fear of stalkers, things like that. We put it behind a paywall. We decide that's a little safer sometimes. We do at least a monthly bonus episode, sometimes extended episodes. Otherwise, if you're just listening to this and you want to watch it, you can find us on YouTube. Today we actually have our guest in the studio for the intro. Ruby Karp is here.
Hi.
And related to her upcoming, is it a special?
It's a special.
It's a special because it's more than just stand up. Called I Don't Trust Adults. It is on pre-sale right now. And they'll come out on Veeps September 10th.
Totally. You got it down.
Oh my God. I can hear something twice and then I finally remember it. We're going to read because it's related. This is a taste test of the whole episode.
Great.
And frankly of Ruby's special. We are reading about fucked up things that theater teachers did.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to start. Let's go back and forth with bullets.
Great.
Gorgeous. Okay. This person wanted to share a few things that happened when they were in high school. They graduated 2015, a different time. Fully different time.
When I was at theater school, actually.
Oh my goodness.
So same time.
Okay. Well, trigger warning to you.
Thank you.
Our theater teacher wrote a play about his wife's miscarriages. I made us perform it for a UIL competition. Do you know what that is?
I have no idea what that is.
Must be regional and huge.
When I was a senior, every person in my friend group got an officer role, president, treasurer, etc., except for me. They even made up a role for one of my friends so that she would be included, but I was not. I was the only one in my group in tech not performing.
Oh my God, it's giving like Trump and who was his first VP? He wrote this. Literally,
he's mad.
I forget that man's name. He's already gone. Vance? No, that's
Mike.
the current.
No, Mike Pence.
Mike Pence. Mike Pence is writing this. I was working as a tech on a storybook play. No idea what that means. That we were taking to the different elementary schools in the district, but we were short on actors. So one of my teachers, a woman on the heavy side, played the big Billy Goat.
What?
At the last second, she decided she didn't want to do it and asked me, a heavy kid, to play the big Billy Goat instead. I understood why she backed out when I walked on stage. When I walked on stage and all the kids went, ooh, and laughed at me, presumably because I was fat. So
That's so sad.
Wow.
And it's sort of what we were talking about, where, maybe you need to remember what your role as the adult is in a situation sometimes.
And oh my God, there's more.
So this person then asked for responses, and then this was my favorite response. So this is someone saying, hey, I have some too. If you want to take it from
He was also an English teacher where he tried to tell us that racism wasn't a real thing and then tried to tell us he wasn't white. In parentheses, he's Italian.
Okay, and that's some English teacher shit. A lot of students confided in him, including myself, and he would either take things too far or use our secrets against us.
Yeah, classic.
My friend was ranting to him about her boyfriend, and he verbatim said, you need to stop fucking and start making love. And I've always said that.
I remember one time I had a theater teacher be like, you need to be sexier in the scene. You are not being sexy. I'm 14. And
what gender of the teacher?
Male.
It's worse.
It's a man.
Yeah, it's worse.
It's always a man. And he's like, you need a cigarette in the scene. It'll make you so much more seductive.
Did he give you one?
No, my mom got them for me, and then I didn't know how to use them, and so I put like the cigarette part in my mouth, and it was kind of like, and then everyone laughed at me, and it was like, okay, well, so much for being seductive, I guess.
Okay, me 2 summers ago, literally in my first acting role. Okay, he would get in students' personal space and then tell us to get over it when we mentioned we were uncomfortable. Once again, a perfect impression to put upon a child.
He not only would text students after school hours, but would invite them to his house for dinner. He was married, but was always mentioning how he and his wife were having issues.
God, everyone's the same.
The concept of complaining about your wife to your high school students, kind of awesome.
In order to strengthen her acting ability, he would force kids to perform absolutely traumatic scenes where multiple students would end up having panic attacks.
What did I say? What did I say? You were sitting here being like, I can't believe you had those experiences. Mind you, it's universal.
Was it a panic attack or was it your most truthful self?
I had him for 3 different classes, very small school, and there was a specific student who was always in his classroom. She was there during my friend's classes, break, lunch, and after school. My friend and I were walking to my locker after detention once, in parentheses 4 p.m., totally, and they, come back. No. And they both walked out of his classroom alone with his arm around her. And I'm sure they were doing that in a friend way.
I'm sure it was a role.
Yeah. She was method acting.
He suddenly left the school and nobody knows if it was being students coming forward about him. But no one has been able to contact him since. Last I heard, he works with special needs children now. Well, that's
the solution, obviously. That's where he should go.
Oh my goodness. I'm so glad I dropped out of high school. And that's kind of my takeaway from this whole episode. Okay, y'all. Thank you so much for listening. Enjoy the episode. Bye.
Bye.
I really hope one day we can be in each other's lives. Okay, bye.
And also, he plays with my socks.
Cute.
His favorite toy is, especially when we're about to go on a walk and he's all excited, I just lift it. It's hard for me to get ready because I'll be putting my socks on and he's trying to find it. And it's so cute.
I know.
Yeah.
I feel like I got my dog a lot of toys and he'll always opt for like a piece of string or like something that's like not like literal trash.
Yes, they love garbage.
I'm like, what is your problem?
No, that's him in every way. Did you hit record on you? Yes. Love you for that. Oh my gosh. Hi, Ruby.
Hey.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So many episodes start with freaking doggy chat.
Well, of course.
And that's on me. And that's ultimately on me. I'm so glad that you're here. I was late because my Uber driver got a ticket right in front of my house for doing an illegal U-turn. Mm-hmm. I do think my white dog and I helped the situation a little bit. Because the cop saw us and was like, where you guys go? Oh, he went,
your dog has one eye?
We should have said it's an emergency. We have to get his eye back.
Yeah.
That's what
we're looking for it right now.
That's why we had to U-turn in front of the downtown farmers market on a Sunday. Anyway, we're okay. We made it. You have a story?
Do I have a story?
We had similar, I'll say what I know about us. We had similar like artistic families, right?
Mm-hmm. What is your family?
Well, not as good as yours probably. Like Burning Man type of visual.
Totally.
And like a little bit of, you could say, a band. My parents were in a band that I don't enjoy promoting. But I feel like this is where we related with, like, we've been surrounded by some weirdos forever.
Totally. I was raised by a single mom.
Oh, cool.
And her like claim to fame that's like not fame is that she started like a feminist sex zine in the 90s. Totally awesome. Cool thing to have your parent do.
That is a TV show, isn't it?
And you know what? Where's the money?
Okay.
But she obviously, because of that, like a big part of the zine was like she would interview, you know, up and coming women and of all kinds of industries, all kinds of artists. Also, like my mom was born and raised in Queens. So again, this is like kind of the same way that like if you live in LA or New York and you're somewhat in the arts in any way, you just like meet a lot of artists of all forms. And I was very much a like child raised by a single mom, and that it was like a village of people raising me.
A little art freaks.
And a lot of them, famously artists, are kind of often unemployed. And so my mom, who worked a full-time, you know, normal person job, would frequently leave me with all kinds of different unemployed artistic people. And so yes, like we both I don't know if my mom's like as far as like a Burning Man type of person, but my mom's definitely like adjacent.
Maybe if she was geographically closer, she would have been.
Totally.
You were saved by being in Queens.
I was totally saved by being an East Coaster.
Jealous.
In many ways.
So It's funny because I don't see you as an East Coaster because you're so sweet and whatever the fuck.
And what are East Coasters?
But then I remember theater people.
Right.
I like East Coaster. I'm too mean for California. So let's be clear about that.
Well, I think that like the stereotype of New Yorkers is that they see you on the street and they like punch you in the face and they spit on you and call you disgusting.
And what's wrong with that?
But to me, I'm like, okay, God forbid a woman be honest.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, okay, if I'm seeing you in the street and you look ugly, I'm not gonna tell you, but there's someone who might. And you know what? What's life without a little risk?
Okay. And I do genuinely believe that public transit changes you as a person.
100%. Well, imagine, I say this to people all the time, but I'm like, when you experience something bad in LA or you have a bad day or like whatever, you get into your car and you are in the privacy of your car, processing your emotions. Imagine having a terrible day at work, then like walking on the street and it smells disgusting, someone like harasses you, and on top of that, you get into like the most packed subway car. There's no AC, it's the dead of summer, it's 90 degrees in the subway car, and like then someone's like singing in the corner. Like it's like that fundamentally changes how you process kind of any information ever.
And that's what I want. And that's how I want to be.
And that's the life I want.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we're the first and the last to talk about the difference between LA and New York.
Yeah. Someone had to do it.
No, that's a really actually fun and cool little illustration. And I do actually think that's better. I think it's better for you because what if you're on that little 90-degree subway car breathing in everyone else's sweat and someone else is having a shitty day and you're not the only one crying on the subway car? And am I saying this from experience? Yeah. No, 100%.
Sometimes a communal crying session kind of rocks.
And that person, I didn't even talk, but we looked at each other with,
Yeah.
And it was actually, I think about it probably every time I'm upset. And I'm like, there's someone out there
who understands me.
and we're in it together. And I'm not the little center of the little universe.
No.
And we all have only $12 sometimes.
Especially in New York City.
Okay. I know some people, I've been like stressed about money and people are like, would you move to New York? And I'm like, how would that help?
Like, actually, it would make everything worse. Nothing would improve. It's like if you think.
I would have fun, but that's not my problem right now. I'm having fun.
No. Mm-hmm. If you think being broke in LA is hard, like, imagine being broke in New York and being like, and also I'm going home to an apartment that is 400 square feet with 3 other people and a family of roaches.
Yeah. And they don't pay rent. The family doesn't
know
pay
what
rent.
you have. Value your life currently. It could be worse.
So did you like grow up in Queens for the most part?
I grew up, no. My mom is from Queens, and then her parents so this is like the devastating thing about in economy and inflation is that they didn't know that it was like it would soon be valuable to like have property in Queens.
Right.
So I think they sold their house in Queens to move to like Florida in like 2003.
That's such a 2003 move.
To just be like, well, property's always going to be affordable, and you can just like immigrate to America and buy a house, and even though you're a taxi driver and everything's going to be awesome.
Where did they immigrate from?
Different places, Middle East, and then like Holocaust stuff.
Copy.
Totally.
Classic for a reason.
To classic vibes to be Iraqi and then be like, I'm going to America. But no, kind of cool of them. They were like 18.
Yeah.
I was like, epic for you, I guess.
Truly.
But yeah, they came here, got a house in Queens as like a bunch of Jews did. And then now they live in Florida. Or one of them died. Rip. And yeah, my mom stayed in New York. My mom's like a very classic New Yorker. And then I think we moved around a lot as you do in New York City, but I spent the majority of my childhood on the Upper West Side.
I've been there. I've stayed there.
Awesome. And how was it?
So the first time I went there, I was like, this is boring.
Cool.
And then I walked along the river park and I said, never mind, this rocks. And that was it for me.
Yeah.
And the last time I was like right above, like as high as you can be, like right before it's Harlem. So then I'd walk into Harlem every once in a while for like food and coffee or whatever. And I was like, well, this is great.
You're like, epic.
I liked it.
Well, that's the thing about the Upper West Side is that it's like, it's actually extremely residential.
Yes.
It's not like, I'd say it's like, it's still New York City, but
Totally.
it's as close as you can get to like more of a Boston vibe than like being in like Midtown.
Sure.
If you're in Manhattan specifically.
That's what surprised me, I think. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, it's Manhattan. And then I was like, what?
No, it's like, because I feel like that's what you expect of like Brooklyn, which
Yes.
I feel like is more traditionally residential in the like, I'm going to the coffee shop and whatever. But that's why I loved growing up on the Upper West Side.
Clutch.
And also New York, like public education systems are like so great that
Yes.
a lot of where you live is like based on like what schools you want to go to.
Because they have like magnets and specialties. This is feeling like a perfect transition.
Totally.
Did you go to a performing arts or like theater based school?
Yeah, I went to LaGuardia, which is like a performing arts school, but that one's not based on district. That's just like if you are like in one of the 5 boroughs, you can audition and attend the school.
I know drag queens that have gone there.
Yeah, basically, LaGuardia is, I think, the school that a lot of modern day famous people went to. Timothy Chalamet, ever heard of him? Kind of that vibe. And I was like a very classic, you know, musical theater kid who was like obsessed with being on Broadway. And I auditioned, and by some miracle I got in.
It's not a miracle.
Well, I was
you
like,
have a musical theater accent. You were gonna get
do.
in.
I know. I really do. I feel like when I start talking, you're like, what is she, like a Valley vocal fry or is this like theater training? And then it's like immediately clear after 10 minutes, like, oh, this is a traditional theater kid.
I've said this to you before, though. I'm just gonna say it on record. You have a more grounded energy.
Thank you.
than,
And
like,
that
a
means
cliche.
that is the nicest thing you could have possibly said to me.
And you know I'm not saying it to be nice. I'm saying it because it's the truth and it needs to be said. You're different than the others.
I'm not like other theater kids, I guess is what you're saying.
You have beautiful traits from it, but then I like you.
Yeah, and the thing is, you're not unlikable, which is crazy. Can you imagine? Wait, picture this: a theater kid who's not unlikable. Picture it, imagine it, and that's kind of what I'm going for.
You got it. You're nailing it.
And yeah, I mean, I grew up doing like a lot of comedy because of said unemployed artist friends. And like, again, I feel like comedy is cool now. I feel like comedy didn't used to be very like cool.
No.
It was kind of just like, I was like, oh, my mom's friends like just like play pretend with each other at night. Like, they're so freaks for that. But like, I love, like, obsessed, but I also was like, this isn't a job.
Right.
It was just like something that like a place that I was all the time. And so I was like used to performing as a kid, because I was like I guess like the child of like the community.
The little mascot.
But I was like, well, you want to know what's a real job? Being Barbara Streisand, singing on Broadway, something that's very easy to do that you can, if you just set your mind to it, you can do that. And so I, like, as soon as I could, like, convince my mom to, you know, put me in like after school programs that were, you know, musical theater based. Here's the thing they don't tell you about musical theater though. You can love it so much. You can love acting. You can love these things. But if you're actually like not talented, it's actually very hard to thrive in these environments. And you know, you can be taught a lot of things. Not many people can be taught how to sing.
Really?
I mean, you can, but like
You have to have a certain amount of natural talent to train.
to be like, I feel like you can train someone to be an actor. You can even train someone to be funny, but to train someone to sing is like, no, there is kind of like a God-given talent that needs to, you know, there has to be a foundation.
Because I'm like, what do you mean? Anyone can sing.
But here's the thing.
Okay, yeah.
Hey, let me tell you this.
Yes.
My mom used to say this to me. My mom used to go, think about Taylor Swift, Ruby.
Well,
do
she can't
you
sing.
think she was born with those chops? No, she makes it work for herself. And I go, Mom, she's writing her own songs. I'm trying to sing Let Me Be Your Star from Smash. Like, these are different life goals. I was like, I don't need to write my own music. I need to sing Stephen Sondheim's catalog at my 5th grade recital.
So because you are talented, obviously, but are you saying that singing isn't what? Did that feel like a gap in your skill set at LaGuardia?
Yeah. So here's what you have to understand about LaGuardia is that like actual children who like are on Broadway, like that's the high school that they go to, or like people who immediately after graduating are on Broadway go to that high school. So it wasn't like I was like like the big fish in my small pond at like my, you know, suburban high school. It was like, no, I'm literally at school with like the people who are like the future of Broadway.
Working professional.
And I'm here like, and me too. Like, I'm a part of that group, obviously. And so like for me, growing up, I was like, yeah, comedy rocks, but like obviously I'm gonna go train and I'm gonna, you know, be on Broadway because that's what famous people are on Broadway. That is how you make money. That is how you become a household name. Not, you know, being on a TV show or movies or even like writing and making a name for yourself. I was like, no, I actually just want to sing. And so LaGuardia doesn't have like a musical theater major. They have an acting major, but it's, you know, there's a lot of musical theater. They're very famous for their school musicals. And I was like, and that's my goal. I set my mind to it. I got in. And I guess that brings us to our no contact because, what do you know? Theater school was not what I thought it was gonna be.
We're talking like freshman year, like you're 14 at this point.
You're 14. Okay. This is actually, if you guys want to check out my story, it's called "I Don't Trust Adults." My special is going to be on Veeps September 10th. Oh, hell yes. Which is like kind of in a way what this is about. I think like I had this impression of theater school that was like, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna be amongst my people. I'm going to be with people who are as passionate and like listen to the Legally Blonde soundtrack every morning, just like Legally Blonde, the musical specifically.
Oh my God, you guys.
And that's where I know that you know things. Because the thing is, you act like you don't, but you know these things.
I learned that against my will from my fake gay cousin. But right. I respect your culture. Continue.
Thank you. Then thank you for being an ally. But like I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's like this way with a lot of artistic communities, is that you have an impression of it from the outside and then you enter and it is what you think it's going to be. But then in so many ways, it is not. It's very different. And so my first day of theater high school, and like this is how guys, I guess I'm giving you a sneak preview because kind of this is the story that I opened my special with. But on the first day of school, it's LaGuardia primarily trains under Meisner, which is a acting method that is very, I would say the word is abusive. I would say that's probably the right word for that. So the way that Meisner works is it's instead of imagining and like pulling emotion from your real life and being like, I'm gonna think about the time that like my grandpa died to make me cry in the scene, you imagine hitting your living mother with a car so that you can do a scene from Mauritius, play about stamps. And so that's kind of like the vibe.
Okay, this sounds exactly like a therapy that was illegally done to my ex. That is
what? What do you mean by that?
No, like literally that I don't want to derail, but there's a therapist I know that got sued in the Bay Area because he was asking people to like imagine being violent to their family members in order to process
emotions. Right. And so imagine
he was just doing Meisner technique.
That is literally, and then I go, and now you understand why actors are Scientologists. Now you understand how we fall into these traps and these cults, because it's like, it's literally like the same thing in many ways. But also the difference between all of this is that like a lot of these trainings are done, you know, at these like acting schools and like very Barry-esque, like, you know, everyone's in their 20s or 30s. This is like being done to 14-year-olds. Children who are young and impressionable and also like have a lot of trust in it. Like acting requires so much trust, particularly in your teacher, because they are your guide in all of this. And so my first day of theater high school, my teacher's like, we're going to start by doing something called repetition, which is like first step in the Meisner technique, where you say something and your scene partner repeats it. So you'll be like, you're wearing a blue shirt, I'm wearing a blue shirt. Yeah, exactly. And you like go back and forth and you just repeat the same things to each other. And she goes, okay, so like who wants to get on stage and do repetition? And I was like, me, like I'm gonna be a star. Like I was like, obviously she's gonna see me do repetition and be like, okay, she has to drop out. She has to be an actress professionally now because she's perfect. I get on stage and I'm like doing repetition with a girl in my class, and we're just like doing like classic, like, you're smiling, I'm smiling. Are you sad? I'm not, I am sad. Like whatever. And my teacher goes, stop. I'm gonna do repetition with Ruby. And I was like, all right, okay. Like, I'm killing it, obviously. She's
Chosen.
gonna stop the scene and tell the class, look at how good she was at that. You should all be just like her. She gets on stage and she goes, you think you're a bad actress. And I was like, I think I'm a bad actress. Like, I was like, oh my God, she's crazy. She's like fucking with me. And then she goes, and I did like giggle. And she was like, oh, you think that's funny? And I was like, I think that's funny. And she goes, you don't belong at this school. Repeat. And I was like, I don't belong at this school. And like this continues until obviously I'm crying. And then as soon as I start crying, she turns to the class and she goes, welcome to high school.
Stop.
And I'm like, I'm like, for lack of a better word, I'm gagged. I'm sobbing. Mind you, I'm 14 years old. And then I was like, okay, I don't know what to do. And then my classmates like start clapping and they go, that was amazing. And I was like, oh my God, I know. That's like, I can cry upon being attacked. So it's easy for me to tap into that. And that was my first day of high school. So not like a math kind of vibe or like a I'm failing chemistry, more of like my teacher being like, you fucking untalented bitch, I hope you kill yourself, and me being like, yes.
Okay, was it like that scene in Barry?
No, it's literally.
So the point is to get you to an emotional place to then perform.
Yes, and
which
then
it is abusive, I want to be clear, but.
Right, well, and that's why Barry's a comedy show. But that's the thing is that, and then your teacher will go, you know I had to do that, right? You know I had to do that. You know I had to do that to get you there. And you're like.
Did she say that to you?
No, she didn't. But that's the vibe is that she'll go, thank you for doing that with me. Yeah. Thank you for going there.
Well, you didn't have a choice.
There was one day where we were doing like Shakespeare, and I was doing like a very emotional monologue from Richard III, a play about a man who like kills a woman's like 7 children.
Perfect for a 14-year-old.
Yeah, obviously something a 14-year-old should be doing. And I was like about to do my monologue, and then I was like, my stomach really hurts. Like, can I like go throw up and then like come back? And she goes, no, use it.
I knew you were gonna fucking say
use it.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, where and she's like, go, keep going. She's like, I want to see you cry. And you're like, so at what point is this just a public school where I'm just like trying to get my GED? And I don't think I'm ever going to be doing Shakespeare in my life. And so that's kind of the vibe. That's kind of just like the sitch.
Did you have this teacher for 4 years?
So the way it works is there were like 4 core drama teachers, and there's like 80 kids per drama grade. So like we all get like kind of split up amongst teachers, but like there are some people who have the same teacher all 4 years, some people who have the same teacher twice, and then it switches up the next 2 years. Like,
and this is where like, I mean, I feel like this is an LA trope, but everyone says every acting class is like a cult.
Yeah.
I hope that's a little clear now.
Does this paint a picture?
Because I have taken one that was actually like extremely positive. None of this shit.
No.
But it felt like a cult too. I was like, I'm obsessed with this woman, and I will do anything
I
she
want her
wants me to do.
validation.
And I know that I'm pretty sure she did love me as much as I think she did. Because she also would challenge me. She'd be not mean, but she'd be like, you're not being rebellious enough. And I know that's who you're
not being truthful.
And she was right. And it made me better. And like, I did things I didn't know I could do.
Of course.
And that is the magic of like someone bringing something out in you that makes you impressed with yourself. That's so fucking addicting.
Well, is there any other environment where someone has the permission to treat you like that? Like, no.
And some would say they shouldn't, but
when it's acting and the whole point is emotion, is there an argument to be made that like, is it ethical to do this to a child? Absolutely not. But was I doing the best acting I think I've done in my entire life because like this woman was telling me I was worthless? Like, kinda, yeah.
Is it
kinda?
Is it even acting though, or is it just like triggering you and then making you recite words?
Right, exactly. And so that it really is the fundamental question of theater training. Okay. Am I just being abused and then it's just making me not think? But that's the thing, is that the whole point is that they want you out of your head.
Yeah.
But at what cost? Okay. I remember one time there was, again, because mind you, it's still high school. I'm still like a 15, 14-year-old girl who like has crushes and all these things. I remember one time my teacher was like, go into the hallway and imagine you're at the hospital with your mom and it's her last 10 minutes. And then I want you to come in and do an improv scene where you have to tell your boyfriend that you have AIDS.
Okay, thematically, this is bad writing.
No, and I'm kind of like, I feel like we're like touching a lot of bases, but she knew that I was super close with my mom. So she was like, doing this like exercise emotionally in your head with your mom will help you tap into the AIDS thing, which you haven't, you know, gone through or know about. And so I'm like in the hallway, like prepping. I'm like, your mom's in the hospital. Your mom's in the hospital. And then like my crush walks by and is like, hey, Ruby, what's up? And I'm like, sorry, I'm like about to tell this guy that I have AIDS and my mom's on her deathbed and do you want to sell me weed or like what's going on? And then they're like, totally gonna go, and you're like, why don't boys like me?
That bitch didn't know Meisner?
No,
You didn't understand Meisner?
Well, that's what happens when you have a crush on an instrumental major and you're a drama major. They just don't understand
It's never gonna work.
They don't understand that sometimes you have AIDS and you have to tell your imaginary boyfriend that.
And this is what High School Musical 2 was about.
Yeah, exactly. And that's these are the lessons we should be learning.
So your teacher, you said you like, obviously you go through many teachers. Some people stuck with the same one. Were you like in the cult of this teacher? Were you
So you don't have a choice. The teachers pick the students.
And that's even worse.
Much worse because, well, and that's the thing. It's like you said, it's like I had teachers that didn't use like such aggressive methods. But again, like you said, the nature of acting requires, especially like a young mind, to become, to essentially need the, validation and appreciation of your teacher to, feel like you've done a good job, because you as an actor are kind of told, like, you can't say that you did a good job. Everyone else has to be the person to tell you that what you just did was like worthy and will get you cast in, Richard III, because when you're 15, I guess you're going to get cast as Richard III's wife who's grieving her 7 children that he killed. But in my mind, I'm like, obviously that's Shakespeare in the Park. That's me next year.
Yeah. I'm free in summer.
And so even when I would have other teachers, of course, it would be less of a toxic dynamic, but it would still be this kind of, power imbalance that, of course, exists with all children and adults, but is so set to an extreme in these settings, which was such an interesting contrast with, like, the comedians and artists I grew up around who were, like, loved being around me because their whole career was, like, playing pretend. Improv is just about, embracing your inner child. So to have an actual child around, everyone was, like, the best person ever and the nicest person ever. And at no point was I like, I need these people's validation. It was more like, I can't wait to go hang out with my friends. These people are not my friends. I am a child and they do not consider me to be their friends.
You're non-legal caretakers.
Yeah, exactly. And so, like, I don't know, all of these contrasts, I think made it really confusing for me in theater school to understand, like, why are these adults treating me like this?
Why are they mean to me?
Why are they so mean to me?
It's like the beginning of Mean Girls.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit.
I'm Katie Heron, actually.
Literally, but from Queens to up on the West Side. I've never been in a world where adults didn't trust me. That's her. That's literally her. Mm-hmm.
Wow, I guess you could say I'm a lot like Lindsay Lohan.
Which apparently her name is Lindsay Lohan.
Oh.
We've all been saying it wrong. I'm like, why didn't she say something sooner?
I'm like, I would have respected that.
I totally would have respected that.
Me who's talking about Lindsay what's it? The Lindsay
Lohan.
Lohan.
It's like a silent H.
It's a soft H. Lindsay Lohan, I'm talking about her all the time.
What if I...
So now I need to know. I have to know this.
What if I said my name was a soft H? Just A.
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 A, come here.
Okay, so... You graduated from this school.
I graduated.
Did all 4 years.
I did all 4 years.
Did it get better?
Did it get better? Well, hey, here's the other piece of this. Fuck. You're pretty little liars. You're killing your friends.
God. A was trans. Okay, spoiler alert. A was weirdly trans for some reason.
You heard it here first. No. The other missing piece of this puzzle is that I was also a child activist.
Of course.
Obviously, because I did not understand that to succeed in a field, you have to just do things in that field. I was under the impression that like, if you just have like a crazy resume in general, you will just like get to be on Broadway eventually.
So this is me right now. This is literally what I'm starting with right now.
You're just like, and I guess I'll just collect whatever accolade I possibly can, and digital footprints don't matter, and I'm never gonna feel insecure about anything I've ever done. So when I was like 11, because I was doing all this stuff at UCB, I got asked to like be a child blogger for this website called Hello Giggles, and so I was like the child.
Hello Giggles is huge.
Yeah.
If you were online,
if you were like a Tumblr person in 2012, that might mean something to you.
Is it Zooey Deschanel's website?
Yeah, it is.
Oh my God, that's such a flashback. Okay, yes.
The era of like 500 Days of Summer, She and Him, all of these things were my favorite things in the world. And I had like a column where I would write about Taylor Swift and how I'm getting through middle school and shit like that. And then because of that, I got asked to do a TED Talk.
Absolutely.
When I was 12. Gorgeous. And it's here's the thing, there's a lot of gifted children who like have something to say. Like Greta Thunberg truly like from age 12 has just been like running the world and like actually making a change. I don't know if I was as gifted of a child, and I think I was just a child who was given a platform. My TED Talk is about saying yes. A real quote from my TED Talk, and I know this verbatim because I show this clip in my special. I go, when you make someone feel bad about himself or herself, she might go home and you may never see her again. And then I'm just like, I love Audrey Hepburn. And that's just kind of like the vibe of the whole thing. It has
right though, it's true.
You may never see them again.
Don't make a school shooter.
Yeah, literally me being like, I have something to say. I'm not saying it eloquently, but it is a message nonetheless.
Messages can be anything.
This video has 200 dislikes on YouTube and like 5 likes.
I like it.
The dislike feature has since been disabled. It prevails on this video. Somehow it's just still there. And then because of that, I started doing like more blogging. And I wrote this one article that went viral called I'm 13 and none of my friends use Facebook, which caused me to get into personal beef with Mark Zuckerberg.
Oh my God.
Because allegedly, because it went so viral that like news stations were asking to interview me, and I was gonna be on a show that may rhyme with like the Monday show, or me trying to come up with a rhyme of today. Anyways,
today and Monday.
My favorite rhymes. Okay. And allegedly, they got a personal call that was like, if you air that segment, we will take legal action.
Did you do the interview?
We recorded the whole thing, and then I woke up and it never aired because legal action was threatened. And then there was like this adult man who wrote a takedown article about me on Slate. He was like the senior technology writer, and he wrote a hit piece on me. Again, I'm 13 years old. I'll let you watch the special to know what happens next. But these are just some of the side quests I've done in my life. And then when I was 16, I wrote a self-help memoir.
Absolutely.
About...
Well, you'd been through a lot.
I've been through so much. And
Mark Zuckerberg went no contact with you at 18.
No, if
13.
Mark Zuckerberg did this podcast, he would go, I'm going no contact with Ruby Karp.
Literally, he's not over it.
He's still thinking about me to this day.
That's why he has to surf. He's still trying to process this.
Mind you, I'm one of the original whistleblowers on Mark Zuckerberg. And people aren't talking about this. People still thought he was really cool. And I was like, I have something to say. Facebook's not shit. I'm 13 and Facebook's not shit. And then in my memoir, I wrote 30 pages about my camp ex-boyfriend who I dated for a week. So these are just kind of some of the things, loosely that were happening to me at this time.
While you were going to theater school.
While I was being told to do a scene where I'm improvising, telling someone I have AIDS, and also thinking about my mom dying. And so that's just like the headspace I was in at that time.
And they say you can't multitask. What do you call that?
And women can do everything, if you ask me.
And by women, we mean 13.
And by women, I mean a minor,
I mean
a 13-year-old child.
A little kid.
And so, yeah, that is in very loose and rushed terms, why my special is called I Don't Trust Adults, and some of the side quests I explore in that special, and some of the people I discuss.
So was there a moment for you that you didn't like your theater teacher anymore?
Oh, I mean, from I think the moment I met her, but it's it's so much deeper than that, though. It's so much more than like or dislike, because you know you hate what these people are doing to you, but you need them. You need them to accept you. And I think also, like, as all of this is happening, I'm dealing with like rejection from crushes for the first time, and like. You're in such a vulnerable state as is when you're a teenager, because you're putting yourself out there and understanding what rejection is for the first time in your life. And so like having that contrast with like this power dynamic between me and this person who kind of holds my self-esteem in her hands, her being like, you did great today, would change my week. I would go home and I would go, I can do this. I can be a famous person. I can be a famous person if I set my mind to it.
Or whatever.
But yeah, I think that theater teachers underestimate, and I think adults underestimate how much meaning their words have to children. Because it's like you go to your job and you just do your job and you go home. You're not like thinking about how it's like impacting the people around you, because the people around you are adults. And so it's like no one's like going home being like, wow, I can't stop thinking about my coworkers. But like children leave school and think about their teachers because like their words have meaning. And so I think
we're relying on adults.
Right.
Like that is supposed to be what happens.
Exactly.
And it's
100%.
supposed to go well.
Well, I'm like, are any of these dynamics set up for success? Like maybe not so. But yeah, like I think theater school is a beautiful place. I think theater camp is a beautiful place. I think, so much of who I am and who my friends are, we are who we are because we were in those institutions, for better or for worse. But I think that we have this impression of like child actors or theater camp that it's like, we really only see like the success stories, but it's like, I don't think you realize how many kids are in these training programs and in these camps and in these institutions, getting their heart broken and also not seeing financial or career success from any of it.
Oh my God.
So that's like not to get deep on No Contact. But maybe think on that. Think about that.
So were there like, I feel like there's some people who they stay in contact with their, like just theater, for example, they stay in contact with their theater teachers, especially as they continue to be in the headlines, or get roles or whatever it is. Were you like, as soon as you graduated, like, I'm not talking to these fucking people ever again?
Well, that's what's so funny is that when I was in high school, all my mom's friends that I would talk to would be like, I don't think about high school ever. I don't think about anyone I went to school with, nor do I think about my teachers.
Well, did they go? Sorry, projecting.
I'm like, hi. No, and so for me, the whole time I was in high school, I was like, I'm never going to see any of these people again. Like, other than, my friends and the people I love and stuff. I was like, I'm never going to have to think about this place. Mind you, if you go to a school that pumps out famous people, I think you're actually going to think about it a lot more than you think you will.
They might pop up in Dune or whatever.
Yeah.
Or anything.
No, but I mean, for my classmates, I'm like, it actually makes me so happy when I see people succeed, because I'm like, hell yeah, rock on. But I do think it's interesting, like, I think there are people who didn't have as, I think, tumultuous of an experience as I did, who go back and visit and like go back and talk to the kids and are like, look at me, I'm doing all this cool stuff. And I've thought about it of like, if I were ever that successful enough to go back and be like, here's how I booked this major role. I'm always like, I wonder what I would say, and how, I guess, honest I would be, because even though, you know, I was in high school in like 2016, 2017, I think this is a universal experience, and I don't think has anything to do with social media or technology. Like, I think if I shared this experience with someone who went to LaGuardia or any theater school in 1990, I think they would resonate. I think this is kind of the norm for these programs.
I was literally going to ask you, do you think today this teacher or other teachers at that school are as abusive, are using, say, AIDS and mommy in the hospital to trigger a child into a certain type of performance at age 14?
I think that in these programs, I earnestly think that these people, unless they do, because they sometimes do, I don't think they have malintent. I don't think that these people are doing this because they're like, I'm going to traumatize this child. I genuinely think they're doing it because they think it will elicit good acting.
Well, and it was probably done to them.
100%.
And there might be a little part that is power tripping them.
Oh, well, it doesn't feel so good to make a child cry. I'm always trying to do that.
And you know how.
And now,
and you were taught
God,
how.
I could do it in 2 seconds.
But
no.
I'm thinking about like helicopter parents, and even like, and not to bring up the Devil Wears Prada remake, but like even her.
No, and I want to hear what you have to say about that.
Well, even her assistant in the new remake is telling Miranda Cosby all these things she can't say.
Miranda Cosby?
What did I call her? Wait, what's her name? Crossgrove. No, that's iCarly.
Okay, wait. Sound it out. We're going to get there together.
Isn't it Crosby?
It is Miranda Priestley. Crosby?
Who's Crosby? And I dropped out of school. Like, this is what they tell you. They just teach you the names of the fictional characters of the magazine and the Devil Wears Prada. That's so Priestley, of course, is her name.
Yeah.
Who's Miranda Crosby? That has to be someone I went to high school with for 4 months.
Is that a famous person?
I really doubt it. I really don't think there's any reason for me.
That is actually that is our new friend.
And the way that I said Cosby and then I corrected to
Crossgrove, and then also it took the number of degrees it took to get there.
And I didn't even get there. You got there.
No, I got you there.
Anyway, this woman,
Devil Wears Prada 2.
She's saying stuff in like a meeting. This is my favorite scene in the new remake. Is she's saying stuff in the meeting like, you know, do we need fat girls and like plus size models? And her assistant's like, no. She goes, really? I can't say that. Like, there is a cultural shift. Even with Miranda Priestley. So I just wonder, again, especially with like, do millennials have high school age children now?
They could, it's like, depending on their age.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But I just wonder if parents would want their kids to be treated this way these days in 2026. I'm sure some don't care. I'm sure some love it, but
I think it really depends because again, it's like there are different methods of acting training. This is one method, and this method relies kind of entirely on you learning to emotionally manipulate yourself. And the way that they teach it is you're not going and telling yourself that you're watching your living mother die because you want to traumatize yourself. You're doing it actually to prevent pulling from existing trauma. Like, the point is so that you're not corrupting like the things that have actually happened in your life that make you sad. The point is that you are truly acting because you are imagining circumstances that do not currently exist.
Okay, so it's not the America's Next Top Model. We heard your mom died by gun violence, and now you have to play a gun violent deaf woman in a picture.
Right, exactly.
Get it.
No, and so it's like the thinking behind that is that you're actually not traumatizing yourself, but when you're, again, when you are trauma. 14, these, you know, imagining these scenarios, like obviously still, you don't know how to, you know, compartmentalize, or it does, you're still, the trauma lives in your body, even if it's made up.
I feel like it's living in my body, and you just told me about it.
Right, exactly.
I'm stressed still.
No, I know you're. I'm gonna send you into the hallway and be like, think about this, and then
I think I could do it.
Yeah. No, like, we're doing Meisner on the pod together.
Okay, what is crazy is when I did my one little class.
Brag.
I'm acting like I did 6 weeks to your 4 years / your whole life. But I didn't know I could cry on command. I was doing a scene from Euphoria. Sorry, everyone. And I was.
You picked a scene. What What scene did you pick from Euphoria?
When she's in the diner with her sponsor from her like
Totally,
special,
that's a good scene.
and I played her. And
I
it's
was
funny
imagining
'cause-
you as like Maddie Perez, and I was like, and now what emotion are you eliciting from that?
Oh my God, that's such a compliment. Well, and everyone said every time I slick my hair back, people are like, "You look like Hunter Shaver," which obviously we love. But no, I decided to be a little drug addict, even though that's not me. I am straight edge, never touch anything. But I guess, and like maybe I knew this without realizing I knew it. But I was like, oh, but this is probably how they feel, other people. And I didn't know I could like cry and freak out like just on command like that. Watch out, everyone. Don't trust me. But that is sort of an interesting take that they think they're not traumatizing you. Do you think that's true though? Do you think it's better?
I think I think that I don't think that these people wake up and go, I want to like fundamentally alter the wires in a child's brain for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
But I do think that, you know, it's kind of like the way people are like, well, that's just the way things are. It's like, well, I don't know if, you know, we've ever reached a point where we've questioned acting methods. And I think there are most people who train under these methods quite enjoy them and are like, that no, this is the most truthful version of my craft.
Because you said you felt kind of like the odd one out, like other people didn't have the...
Well, I was the one just kind of being like, hey, is this a little insane maybe? And everyone was like, no, it's how I reach like my most truthful version of myself. And again, it's like these, you know, and that's how some actors are. I mean, like we hear stories of like professional actors who do crazy shit because like that's how they get these like Oscar winning performances out of themselves. And I think that, again, like it feels, I hate to say this, it feels really fucking good when you nail it. When you go to that place and, you know, everyone in the room is clapping for you because they're like, I can't believe you just convinced me that, you know.
Well, it's a magic trick.
It's a magic trick.
It's like watching a human do a magic trick or a cool dance move.
And so in that way, it's like, yeah, it's kind of addicting.
Yeah.
And so I think it's like, you know, is it healthy? I don't know, but is it something that can necessarily be changed? That would kind of require shifting this entire acting method that's been taught at this point for a very long time. But that's why there are other acting methods that exist. Like not every acting training is like this. This is just like one.
Oh, good.
One that I fell into.
So did you have like, what was your goodbye like upon graduation? Because you told me you're like, I have no contact with my high school drama teacher or theater teacher. Were you like, was it sort of like a, hey, so thanks for everything?
Yeah. I was like, I'm going to miss you so much. You've changed my life. I thanked all my theater teachers in my book, in my self-help memoir that I wrote when I was 16.
Absolutely. Well, you're still there, but okay. Yeah, no, keep going.
I was like, again, it's like, it was one of those things where I was like, in my head, I was like, I'm never going to see you again. But you have, like, who can say if I've been changed for the better?
Is that a musical?
That is Wicked.
Sorry.
Because I knew you. That, like, literally, because I knew you, I have been changed for good.
Is that
end of sentence?
Is that Ariana singing to what's your name?
Yeah, well, it's like a duet of sorts.
I'm so sorry. Of course it is.
Yes.
Lesbian.
Sorry, not to correct your theater knowledge.
No, I wanted to know.
No, I wanted you to do that actually.
But did you have any sense of like, fuck you and I'm going to show you, or you were still fully like, you were the reason? I
think both. Like I think I was like, I'm gonna leave this school. I'm gonna be the most famous girl in the world, and everyone's gonna be like, we should have told her she was talented every single day. And then I also was like, wow. And even to this day, I was like, there's no 4-year period I think I will ever live again that will change me this fundamentally. I think ever.
Well, good.
And you know what? And maybe thank God for that. Every year since high school, I've been like, wow, this year was like really calm for me. Like I feel like I was like emotionally stable this year, and it's like, yeah,
it's giving complex PTSD.
Yeah. And I've been to a lot of therapy.
Good.
Thanks.
Good.
Thank you.
So do you still identify then as a theater kid? You did just sing.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that you can repress it as much as you want, but it comes out of you in ways you can't control.
It's your fibers.
I have to. It's just like these are the core values I have. No, I mean, I think that's like a lot of what the special is me grappling with, and I think why I wrote it is I love theater. I love musical theater. I think obviously now I'm more of like a comedy, if I would consider myself to be like I mean, I am an actor, but I'm
a stand-up.
I'm more of a comic, I'd say, than a traditional theater actor.
But a lot of actors try stand-up and it doesn't work. You are an actual stand-up.
Yes. No, and like that's what I liked about doing my one-woman show is that it's not straight stand-up. Like there's a story. There are moments where it gets a little emotional, but it's like funny, and it's me using everything I've learned, since I started doing stand-up when I was 11 to apply to what I consider to be a theater piece.
Okay.
And I think that, I don't know, I can't not value, I have such a deep love for theater kids and theater everything, while also being like, and I love you from a distance.
Okay.
And that's my piece on that. And that's what I have to say about all of that, actually. End of sentence.
And really what it's all about is a little boundary. We love to talk about a little boundary here.
Setting a little boundary. I mean, of course, on no contact.
And loving from a distance is exactly that.
Yeah.
Because are your friends now mostly like, I feel like you're not in a little theater group. You're probably mostly friends like comedians and writers, and just from what I've seen.
My friends are really spread out, which is nice. I think I have, friends in different pockets of the world. But of course, like, even in comedy, it's like everyone's auditioning. A lot of the times we're auditioning for the same things. And it's just interesting how a lot of what I talk about with my actor friends has nothing to do with Meisner or like, were you abused at theater high school? It's more like, wow, it sucks to constantly be putting yourself out there and get rejected all the time professionally.
We do have that in common.
But that's like, whatever. Like, that's for love of the game. Like,
maybe I haven't done enough, but I haven't felt that yet, because I just don't ever assume I'll get anything.
Right.
So I'm like, what if this is fun?
No, it's like, I'm literally just like, I'm making a little vlog in my room and we're calling it a self-tape.
That's actually... And sell that as a piece of sell that in a freaking like Instagram based skills kit, $10 off, whatever.
It's all about the mentality. And that's what these manosphere guys have been telling you all along. And we're just taking the wrong messages from it.
And I do need to listen to them more.
When you watch the manosphere, just take away all the toxic masculinity stuff and just like replace it with like, when you are auditioning for a movie, you just know in your head that you will book it. You will, but it is yours and no one else's.
This is what sucks. Is some of the right messaging is so misapplied by the wrong people, and that's me on my narcissist mother. Anyway,
and we'll unpack that on the next No Contact.
When am I not unpacking that, Anya?
That's actually what this entire series is.
It started with that bitch. It did, and she's gay. But anyway, doesn't help.
No,
and you think that would help?
No.
Wasn't enough. It's
still cool though.
Oh my God. Okay.
Wait, on that one time I was having dinner with my mom. She won't care that I said this. One time I was having dinner with my mom when I was 8 and I was like, Mom, tell me a secret. 8 years old. She goes, well, I've had sex with both men and women. And I was like, oh, I meant like, do you have a favorite animal I don't know about? And I was like, totally, this rocks.
Were you bi yet?
No.
Okay.
Well, I don't know.
Did you have a girlfriend in high school?
No, I had like we could get into that another time. It was complicated.
Okay. Oh, okay. A homoerotic friendship.
Totally.
Okay. And you were pretty busy.
Love those. I know. I had a lot going on and I had to throw that in there and then it just kind of complicated things. But what? I couldn't take another complicated thing in my life?
Use it.
Use it.
Use it. Name of that. With an exclamation point. Okay. Well, just put a button on it.
Put a button on it.
Have you never spoken to your theater teacher again?
I haven't.
Do you think she watches you?
No, definitely not. I think these people don't know or care what I'm doing. But I will say my show ran for 6 weeks off Broadway in New York.
Last summer, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And famously, they all live in New York.
Interesting.
And so part of me has always wondered, like, I wonder if they know what I'm talking about. But again, it's like, it's this complicated thing.
Because this play is about us.
Yes.
They could sit in the audience, your theater teachers, and say, this play is about us.
Like in a major way. But
Oh my God.
maybe, again, it's like the toxic, complicated dynamic. But I will say, for me, I don't hate these people, and I don't hold these things against them. I think I have a lot of thoughts about it, and I have notes.
Good.
But I think for me, it's not, I feel like in some weird way I understand these people, and
Yes.
I understand where these weird tactics are coming from. And I don't know, it's not to be like it's all love, but I think it's not hate. It's more of, like I said, like, it's no contact. It's, I won't really ever speak to you again, but I will talk about you.
And it is giving a place of acceptance.
Yeah.
And ultimately, that's kind of the key to everything. I wish people told me that way sooner in my life, but here I am. And here you are.
And that's why you have a podcast.
And that is exactly
That's what
why
podcasts are for.
I have the podcast. Okay. The final only little segment we have is, as you may have seen in the event description, what is something that you now would like to go no contact with?
Okay. Hold on.
Great example.
Technique. It's a technique.
Okay. Oh, okay. Wait, hold. This might be controversial.
Yes, perfect.
And I'm saying this as someone who's done this.
Mm.
I need to go no contact with adults who still talk about summer camp. And I'm saying this as someone who does this sometimes.
Okay.
That is an experience we have to leave in the past. You are 27 years old. You are not in the girls' bunk anymore. You actually, you might think it's cool that you went to sleepaway camp until you were 17 years old. In many cultures, that is actually loser behavior, which is okay. Being a loser when you're 17, chic. Cool.
Absolutely. No, that's the time to do it.
But if you still have your camp zip code like tattooed on your wrist, it's kind of like, well.
Is that a thing you've seen?
Oh, that's, I mean.
Do you have it right now?
No, I have no tattoos. But it's like, the transition from putting the zip code in your Instagram bio to then permanently putting it on your body. Maybe we get a hobby. Maybe
something you learned at camp.
Maybe, yeah.
But you
loved
can do
woodworking at camp? Go take a woodworking class
with
as an adult.
adults.
Literally. And again, summer camp rocks. It's so cool to have loved that experience. If you're talking about it like 20% of the time.
At age 27. Let's find something
maybe
new.
maybe we find something new that we love. And connect with people our age in this current year.
And coming from a theater kid, this is really powerful.
And again, I'm saying this as a community member, as not just an ally, but a participant
I know what you're talking
in this
about.
culture.
And I think you just save lives, if I'm being honest.
And I just think it's a matter of being self-aware.
Okay. Then let's be aware.
And let's be aware.
And let's end on that. Thank you so much, Ruby. Wait, plug your all the details.
I Don't Trust Adults comes out on Veeps September 10th, but you can pre-order it August 20th and hear more details about all the many things we've discussed today.
This was just a teaser.
This was a tease.
All the real shit pre-order on August 20th. Why am I doing monster truck voice? Okay,
I think it's cool. Bye.
No call, no text, no contact.